Good morning, good morning, good morning, fellow humans. Today is August 28th. Can you believe that? It's already August 28th, 2025. It is now 5:56 in the morning, just before 6 o'clock on a nice day here in southwestern Nevada, where we are west of Sin City, east of Death Valley, south of Area 51. We're in Art Bell, George Norrie territory, where there's a bunch of sharp-elbowed, rootin' tootin', pistol shooting people out here. Hard scrabble. Hard scrabble. This is not like retirement community in Palm Springs. These are the people who worked hard through their life, or life worked them hard. They have their Social Security, and they followed the dream of someplace near, just right outside of Las Vegas, but a lot cheaper, warm weather. And that's what we got. So it's a great training ground to how do you communicate with people who have a scarcity mindset. They're on a limited budget. I worked hard to get what I got. I don't have enough to give to you. And you're not going to give to me anyway. And we don't want those troublemakers around here. If you can't make your own way, don't expect me to help you out. That's not my job. You want to be in the situation you're in. Right. Right, you are. So, great breeding ground. And dozens of churches that have less than 40 people at a service. Okay, so, but here we are to help our students on their journey through this life, this one-time thing, to experience this life where we are on a trajectory. We're on this trajectory. And when we have shuffled this mortal coil, we'll keep going in that direction, kind of like a rocket with a booster rocket. The rocket continues in the path it was on. Or as Blaine Elker says, you plant carrots in your garden, you're going to get carrots. If you take care of them, you will one day get carrots. You're not going to get corn or peas. You will get carrots if you do what you need to do to get carrots. So if you sow evil, you will continue on that path. If you serve, if you sow goodness and you nurture it, that's the direction you will head. You don't get to be evil, but say, but I believe Jesus was my Savior and personal Messiah. You don't get to do that. It is a Matthew 25 situation. Okay, anyway, that's our introduction. Today's themo, our theme of today is best advice. Don't be stupid. We'll talk more about that. This is also week 3, day 4 in our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. Day 4 of week 3, outside my skull-sized kingdom, where in this course we're trying to answer 2 fundamental questions. Who am I, and why do I behave the way I do? And this isn't from a, who am I? No, this is a, here's how my brain works in a very simple way. I have neurons. There's cells in there. Contained on the cells and the interconnections of my cells are my lived past, my anticipated future, my ability to simulate my personality. Things like that are all stored here in my neurons. And there are chemical reactions going on in my neurons that cause me to feel. So I link some of the things that are stored in my brain with some of these chemicals that make me feel. And I can have a trigger and I can feel something. I can feel a way based upon what I'm thinking or what I'm perceiving is going on around me. And then I can, this is week 2 stuff, by the way. Then I can program my brain, my reticular activating system, to think certain things are important. So when those things come into my ability to recognize them, my senses, I can see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it. When things come into my ability to sense them, they will come to my attention or I will respond to them. That's the reticular activating system. Okay, now this week, though, we're trying to figure out how to get people to help us because we can't be successful without other people. On Monday, we learned one of the easiest things to do is join a tribe, join an organization, a church, a club. Join something and nudge it forward. Participate to make it a little bit better. That's it. Just join a tribe, make it better. How do you make it better? Well, Seth Godin on Tuesday gave us a 4-step formula. Find something to change. If you can't change something, you can't make it better. Find something to change. Tell a compelling story. Connect the true believers and, most importantly, ignore the non-true believers. Who's coming with me? And you focus on those people. You don't focus on the ones that say, not me, no way in hell. Forget about those people. Next, you lead them. Who's coming with me? Now you lead them. Yesterday, Simon Sinek, we talked about how do you tell a compelling story? And the simple thing is the compelling story starts with why you want to change the status quo. Not what you're going to change, not how you're going to change it, why you want to change the status quo, why we need to change the status quo. Because, as we learned from Simon Sinek, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And so that's an explanation of why Apple. When Apple's going great, why Apple? It's not because of what they make, because other people make the same thing. It's why they make the things they make. Tom's shoes, another example. The whole thing was built upon why should you buy Tom's shoes? Because we believe that everybody should have shoes. And if you buy a pair of shoes, we're going to give somebody else a pair of the same shoe. And that way, you're helping other people. Okay, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So that was number 3 yesterday. Now today is the story before the story, the story that gets people to feel how you feel to bond with you. Boom, because if we're bonded, we see the world in the same way. And if we see the world in the same way, and if I think something's a good idea, you're going to think it's a good idea too. So David Phillips goes through the magical science of storytelling. What does that mean? Well, that means you take all of your stories, you write them down so you have a good, crisp version of your story. And then you think of what feelings people will have from that story. Are they going to laugh? Are they going to cry? Are they going to be inspired? What is it? And you might think of embellishing or polishing your stories, accentuating in your stories the emotions you want people to feel. And so then you have a catalog of stories where the result is here's what I want, here's what they will feel from the stories. That way, when you want to go in and talk about a particular thing, you want to motivate somebody to do something, before you start that story, before you do the Jerry Maguire who's coming with me, you do another story, a story that is just to get people to feel what you want them to feel in the other story. So if you're a stranger to them, you might want to make them feel comfortable with you, because people don't bond well with strangers. That's why a lot of people start their talk with a humorous story to get them to laugh. And then they feel comfortable, more comfortable with you. We're sharing a moment. Well, you get the idea. Time is racing, cutting a lot of stuff out because time is racing. This is a long ceremony. So said David Foster Wallace. All right, so that's the story today. So the idea is if people believe in you, when you ask them to do something, they will believe you and they will do it. Get people to believe in you. This is all, of course, in a good faith, non-manipulative way. So let's look at our worksheets. What else we got? How about advice from an 80-year-old? Beware of the person who has nothing to lose. That kind of goes with our themo-memo. Best advice, don't be stupid. And Seth Godin, for people who don't care that much. If someone snuck into my closet and switched out my brand of sneakers for a similar model from another company, it wouldn't bother me much. Popular cars like the Camry, the Civic, and the Elantra don't have raving fans the way the Mini or the Rivian do. Go to the rental car counter and take what's on offer. Popular products and services succeed because they're normal, reliable, convenient, cheap, or say incumbents. If someone expected to stay at the Hyatt but finds themselves at the Marriott, it's probably not a big deal to them, because both brands have worked hard to find themselves in the center, sending off idiosyncrasies and inconveniences to get there. And thus the fork in the road. If you're building something remarkable, memorable, and important, you're simply not going to appeal to the masses for precisely those reasons. So if you're building something remarkable, memorable, and important, you're not going to get there by appealing to the masses. This isn't about being the most expensive. It's a different sort of elitism. The elitism consumers choose. The decision to invest time in learning about the opinions, caring about the small differences, and feeling confident enough to develop an opinion. Sure, some people care about Budweiser or Coke, but that's not what those brands stand for. If you want to build a mass brand, invest in convenience and normalcy. And if you want to be particular, memorable, and worth what it takes for fans to be loyal and committed, don't chase the people who don't care that much. Either you make something that costs more and it's worth more than it costs, or you chase convenience, ubiquity, and low price. This might not be for you is a fine slogan. This might not be for you. Yeah, let's adopt that. This might not be for you. Boom, I go boom, bang, bing, bing. Done, handled. Now I gotta attribute it to Seth Godin. date 8/28/25. There we go. Bang, bing, bang, bong. Okay, how are we doing for time? Time is such a runic rhyme. 15 minutes in. Okay, let's talk about our themo memo. Don't. What is it? Right. Best advice. Don't be stupid. There was an episode of The Office where Dwight says something to the effect of the best advice Michael, if somebody asks him, what's the best advice Michael ever gave you? Don't be stupid. He said, don't be stupid. So whenever I think about doing something, I ask the question, would somebody stupid do this? And if the answer is yes, I don't do it. So that's the thing I have with Matt. That's the thing I have with Matt is don't be stupid. Just don't be stupid. That's the best advice. Don't be stupid. Well, how do you know if it's stupid? Well, would a stupid person do this? And if the answer is yes, then just don't do it. It's that simple. Okay, well, today is Las Vegas Day, haircut day. Hopefully tomorrow I'll come back and looking 10 pounds lighter. No, not really, not 10 pounds, maybe 8. Well, whatever. Okay, so as always, purpose for being here, our fundamental purpose is to build better habits. That is the thing that will affect your life most. Most of our life is spent unconsciously. We have this marvelous brain that can do things, complicated things unconsciously, which leaves us time to do other things consciously. So, for example, driving a car. Most of the time we're driving a car. Ooh. It's that protein powder. Most of the time we're driving a car. It's unconsciously because we might be thinking, talking on the phone, eating a sandwich. You get those little powder particles in your throat. Okay, gotta say and cut, people.